Hello, my channel. Today we're going to be talking about homeschooling in the state of Oklahoma, and we are going to start at the HSLDA website where you can become a member if you have any legal questions or concerns. I'm not an attorney and I can't help you with those sort of things, but we're going to cover a lot of areas today, and one of them is that you could become a member, and I think it costs about $10 or $12 a month. It's very affordable. And you can always check back on their website to see if they have any updates. Right now, it says in Oklahoma there are no reporting and testing requirements for homeschool programs. As long as you teach for 180 days, you can legally operate a homeschool program following your own guidelines. While there are no statutes requiring that certain subjects be taught, some Oklahoma courts have suggested that homeschool education should be equivalent or comparable to a public school education. For this reason, HSLDA strongly recommends that your homeschool curriculum include math, language arts, science, and social studies. A lot of people, when they homeschool, they like to create a portfolio or a binder. And if you do decide to, some of the things that you can put in there would be like at the beginning of the year, if you give your students an assessment test or a placement test to see where they're at so that you can create a plan of what you're going to teach that year. You want to put that in there. State homeschool laws, you could go to the HSLDA website and to your state Department of Education website and print out the current homeschool laws and date that and put it in there. If you have to file any forms, you want to get proof of that and put that in there. A couple of calendars for attendance records. If you're brainstorming your favorite websites or resources or workbooks or books, you might want to put that in there. And when you actually decide upon a list of resources you'd like to use, maybe you want to use an online curriculum for 3 hours a day and a workbook for an hour a day, you might want to put that in there. A list of any field trips you plan on taking your students to. If you decide to print out the contents from a web page like iExcel or Workbooks to show the curriculum and list of activities your students are going to be using, you can put that in there. Sample student work, and it's wonderful to have a portfolio or a binder as a keepsake, and you can decide if you want to showcase your students' best work, show progressive work, or show a variety of skills. You could have your students create a binder or portfolio so as a school project so that they can look back on their work and take pride on their work. And you can put proof of any field trips taking, like a leaflet or a flyer, photos, or a paper your students write about the field trip and put the date on it. If you create a weekly schedule for your students, you might want to put that in there. And you might decide, hey, Wednesday afternoons, I want to have them doing life skills like 4-H classes, maybe cooking Wednesday afternoons for a month on Wednesdays, and then the next month maybe you're going to be making candles, or you're going to be sewing and learning to use a sewing machine, or checking the oil in the car, or different pottery, different types of skills that you want them to learn. And then you can put that in the weekly schedule. Maybe Fridays after lunch you want them to be playing Scattergories or Monopoly and board games that help them with math and spelling and English, Scrabble, or reading magazines that they got in the mail that have to do with social studies and science. Um, you might want to create a daily log of activities, and that would be like putting day one, the date, the time, the subject, the website, or the book they're doing the subject in, along with the activity they're doing within the subject. And that way you have the number of days and you have that log that shows their schooling. And that's a great way to look back on the things that they've done during the year a few years later. And if they take any standardized assessment tests, that standardized tests from the school, you might want to put that in there. If you do assessments every now and then, and maybe every 6 to 8 weeks in each subject, and at the year end, you might want to put that in there. And make sure you put a positive spin on anything negative. Like if they're struggling with reading, you could put they're behind on their reading a bit, but they have a positive attitude and they're working hard to get where they need to be. And at the end of the year, you could put they went up 5 reading levels within the year on their reading, and you think that their positive attitude had a lot to do with it, and that helps them to look back on that and take pride in their work. If they do any volunteer work, you could create certificates or have people fill them out at the volunteer center. And you could put that in your binder, and that'll help if they plan on going to college or joining the military. If they take outside classes like piano lessons, swimming lessons, horseback riding, yoga, Zumba, anything, you can have someone fill out paperwork on that and put that in your binder as well. If you have contacts with email addresses and phone numbers, and local support groups, you might want to put that information in the binder. If you have them do career study field trips, you might want to have them create a list of questions and the kind of education they needed and the skills required and their daily activities as far as computer usage for presentation, problem solving skills, planning, organizing, leadership skills, meeting deadlines. And you could see if they could record audio or video footage of the student asking the questions and then have them write a paper about it and review it. And as they do this, this might help them choose a career and understand the education they might need for the careers they're interested in. It might also just help them with interviews later and their communication skills. And you could put that in their binder. And some of the places you could do career study field trips would be like the hospital, a veterinarian's office, a hotel, factories, just a variety of places. You could go to the Chamber of Commerce to get ideas if you like. And that's some of the things that you could put in the binder. You can have the students do self-assessments of where they feel like they are, what they feel like they learned, what their goals are as far as learning, and what they feel like are their most difficult areas are, and how they feel like they learn better, if they feel like they learn better from watching videos, hands-on, working on certain websites, and things like that. That way you have that in there, and that will help you as well. And that will help them be able to learn better. Okay, the Oklahoma State Department of Education Homeschool has a website, and you can print that out. And if you have a binder or portfolio, you can put it in there. And it talks about the laws, and it talks about the Attorney General and allowing for homeschooling and things like that. So you can go on there and print that out, put the date on it, and throw that in your binder. And there it has resources from the Office of Instruction with different subjects. So it even has a link for work permits. So you can go to that website and check that out. Assessment tests. This is a great place to get assessment tests. I love this. This is for, it has Bible, history, language, arts, math, science, and it has some other ones as well. And I'm going to show you one of them. Basically, you can print this out or you can save it as a PDF and print some pages out. You go over it. You have your students take the test, and then you go over and you see if they made simple mistakes or if they were struggling in certain areas, and then you can see what level they're on and what they need to review. And this will help you to create a plan for what you're going to teach them during the year. And they may not be on the same level as math and reading, maybe two different levels. And this one is to help you if you're not homeschooled before and you're trying to brainstorm what you need to be able to homeschool, and you're trying to create lists. And maybe you want to create lists of your favorite websites and resources for math and English and history or your field trips. And this will help you, and you can put the names of the workbooks. And so you can take a look at this and you can create one list to brainstorm ideas. And then next year you can look back at your favorite ones and see them. And then you can have a separate list for the ones you're going to use, or you can highlight them. And that way you have two lists, maybe one for your brainstorming of your favorite ideas and one for the list that you're actually going to use. Because some people decide they only want to use one full curriculum website and one workbook, and they might do 3 hours of the curriculum online and then an hour of the workbook, and then they might do other things during the day as well. This is a homeschool attendance record, and I found it. You can see where the website address that I got it from, and you might put a tentative schedule for the days that you plan to have school, field trip, and holidays, and you can use a highlight marker, or you can just put X for school days, and FT for field trips, and H for holidays, and then you can use one for the actual days you have school, and then you can put that in your calendar. So things come up. Even if they go to public school, they end up having snow days and things like that. This is IXL website. It's not free, but you can see how you could print out the curriculum and the activities they would be doing within the subject. So if you're creating a daily log of the activities, you would put like 8 o'clock, math, IXL.com, even or odd, one day, even or odd. And you can see skip counting. So you can see what the activities within the subjects mean so that you have that. And it's an excellent resource. And this is Khan Academy, and it says that it is free for everyone, everywhere. And it starts out at pre-K and goes all the way up to college classes. And some people might like the math on one website and the English on another one, so they might use different ones for different things. This is all in one homeschool, and it's free at the time that I'm doing this web page, but they do try to get you to donate money, but you can click cancel and then get it for free, and you can donate later if you find you love it. And it uses different websites that you can click on for reading or math or spelling. It also has Bible, but so if you want to start your day with Bible, you can do that. It's not on their daily list, I don't think. I think it's a separate thing on their website that you can go to do that. Another thing is this is not full curriculum. This just adds to your curriculum. And it's Schoolhouse Rock. And it teaches grammar, science, economics, history, mathematics, and civics. And you might have heard of it, but didn't realize that it taught so much. And they have this, if you go to YouTube, they have playlists. People have created playlists with these types of videos. And see, within math, you learn multiplication tables, and the children, they'll sing along and they'll get to know them by heart, and a lot of them will remember these songs until their adulthood, so they learn it very well. And this is Grammar Rock, and it teaches the part of speech like nouns and verbs and subjects and predicate, adjectives, adverbs. It has America Rock, which teaches American independence, the Revolutionary War, voting for the president, the Declaration of Independence, and many other things. Science Rock, which teaches about gravity, the solar system, electricity, weather. It teaches about rainforests, oceans, gardens, solar energy, recycling, reusing it. And there's Money Rock that teaches them about bills and personal budget, stock exchange, and many other things. And this is Project Gutenberg. So if you are looking for books, but you don't want to go to the library, you've got so many books in your house, you just go to that website and there's so many books. You just click on the book, you click how you want to read it, and there's the book. It's so user-friendly, and it's a great website. And if you do decide to go to the library, you can create a list of library skills for your students. And once they've learned all these library skills, you could give them a certificate of achievement and put it in a portfolio or a binder. This is International Children's Digital Library, and it has like 4,000 or 5,000 books. And if it has different editions that came out, it might have all of the editions. And you can click on the book, and you click how you want to read it, and there it is. You just click on the pages, and you can turn the page to the right or the left in the upper right hand corner. And I just love this because they have, like I said, thousands of books. It's an excellent website. Hippocampus.org is for middle school students to college, and you can see the subjects on the left hand side, and it's another excellent resource. There's so many that I can't fit them all into one video, but I tried to throw some in here. This is At Home Middle School, and it's good for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Another good website is purplemath.com, and I don't click on it because it has ads and it makes my voice break up when I'm talking, but it's for, I think it's 5th grade up through college, and I used it when I was in college. So if they're having problems in math or they're trying to learn different things in math, it shows the different lessons, and you click on it and it gives them instructions, and it also has videos so that someone's explaining to them how to do it in a video, because some students need that extra explanation through a video, and I think that's a wonderful resource. There's also Extra with an X. It's not EX, it's just extramath.com. And that's another website that helps younger students with their math. And I think that one costs money, and it's like $2. I don't know if it's $2 a month or $2 a year, but it really helps them sharpen their skills for simple math and multiplication and things like that. This one is an excellent resource as well. And you'll see that it says it's UK, but it has complete workbooks. And that's what I love about it, because you can print out complete workbooks for your students if you need them. And I'll show you one like this one. I go to this one, I'll click here too. You can see there's a practice books answer, practice book 3, and so on. So you go to the book, and I'll click on pages 1 to 24 in the practice book so that you can see it. So you can see there's the practice book, which is just an excellent thing. So you can see that. You can print it out. Maybe you could get it so you could take it somewhere else to print it out. Sometimes it costs less to print it out somewhere else than it costs to print it out at home. Because, you know, you might only get 40 pages to your printer, and it might cost $40 for your ink, and that might be $1 a page, whereas somewhere else, if you get a bunch of pages printed out, it might only cost 10 or 20 cents a page. But it's an excellent resource. And then another thing that you might want to consider if you're homeschooling is joining a homeschool support group, because they might be able to answer questions that you hadn't even considered asking. Maybe you want to get your student a diploma, or you want them to take driver's ed, and maybe you have questions. Maybe you have books that you want to donate and share with other families. Maybe you want your child to go on field trips with other families and have outings with other families, to be around children their own age, to spend time with children. So you can, some of the homeschool groups are free and some cost money, and you can look into that and see what they have to offer you. I don't know about the co-ops, because I've heard that's a lot of work, and I've heard good and bad. I have never done a co-op, but like I said, you can look at that and see what works for you and what you're interested in, and that might be helpful as well. So I'm hoping that this video helps someone out there with their homeschooling, and I hope that I got enough information into the one video. And I appreciate you watching. Feel free to leave comments. Thank you so much, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.